Chance is just a convenient explanation for those who dare not look deep into their reality. That meeting that changed your life, that stranger who seemed so familiar, it wasn't a glitch in the system or just a lucky coincidence. It was the work of one of the most ancient and honest mechanisms in the universe, which the great psychologist Carl Jung spoke about for decades. We will analyze how this relentless law of attraction, which lies at the heart of the psychology of relationships, is structured. And why have all your attempts to understand how to attract a man not brought the desired result until now? If you are ready for a truth that may not be the most pleasant, but one that brings liberation, support our channel with a like and a subscription. We are beginning. By the way, before we dive into the depths of the unconscious, let's do a little roll call. Who is more numerous here today? If you are a woman, let us know in the comments by writing the number 1. If a man, the number 2. We are very interested to know who is ready to embark on this journey to the secrets of the soul with us. A non-accidental meeting. Let's be honest. He didn't appear because the stars aligned or a friend invited you to a party at the right time. He appeared because an internal process was launched, which Jung called synchronicity. This is a phenomenon in which an external event becomes an exact reflection of our internal state. This is not mysticism, but a psychological pattern. The conversation with him that seemed to shift tectonic plates in your soul, his gaze that seemed to know more about you than you knew about yourself. All of this is not a coincidence, but a response to your barely audible yet very powerful inner call, which you broadcast to the world around the clock without even realizing it. Your psyche called out, and the world provided a material embodiment of this call in the form of a specific person. And this person came not to make you happy, but to show you who you really are at this moment. Sometimes he comes not to stay, but to teach. Sometimes to reveal an old emotional pain that you have learned to hide so well, even from yourself. And at times, simply to help you complete the old version of yourself, to burn the bridges to the past that you couldn't bring yourself to let go of. Therefore, every such meeting is not just a romantic plot for a melodrama. It is a psychological code, an encrypted message from your unconscious. It speaks to you through another person, sometimes gently and sometimes through turmoil and disappointment, but always with incredible accuracy. He comes to your call. So remember once and for all, a man does not come on his own. He responds. His appearance is not the cause, but the effect. It is the echo that returned in response to your inner sound. A woman's true energy is not about dresses and beautiful glances. It's about the vibration that her psyche radiates. And this is where true psychology, in the spirit of Carl Jung, begins. It explains that the attraction between people, especially the brightest mutual kind, is not a choice of logic, but a resonance of unconscious parts of the personality. To understand how the law of attraction works, you first need to realize how the subconscious works. It calls, and the world answers. And the man who comes, like a mirror, will show you everything: your strength, your pain, your hidden potential, and your unfinished business with the past. This call is not your conscious desires that you write down in a notebook for the new year. It's not affirmations or vision boards. It is unconscious impulses woven from your fears, hopes, suppressed emotions, and unlived psychological traumas. You can convince yourself as much as you want that you are looking for a kind and caring partner. But if a signal sounds within you, I want passion and drama because that's the only way I feel alive, then the one who will give you a first-class emotional roller coaster will respond to your call. Therefore, the question, how to attract a worthy man, is initially posed incorrectly. The correct question is, what must I become for a worthy person to respond to my call? After all, even Carl Jung's teaching on love and his concept of the animus archetype, which we will discuss later, boils down to one thing. The external world only materializes what already lives inside you. Attraction to the essence. You can spend your whole life pretending to be a good girl, read all the smart books, perfect your figure, learn to smile when you want to cry, and master many techniques of female charm. You can become a perfect form, a flawless, polished shell, but a man capable of looking into the soul will not even glance at this external tinsel. He is attracted not by the form, but by the state, not by your achievements, but by the atmosphere of your soul. This atmosphere lives in how you are silent, how you carry your pain without looking for someone to blame, how you remain yourself when no one is around. This is what is not visible in retouched photos on social media, but what is felt on the skin during the very first conversation, in the very first pause. That is why a man who deeply touches the soul may be completely out of your circle and not resemble your usual type. He may be older, younger, with a different social status, anything at all. But he feels the main thing in you, authenticity. He feels that you are not playing a game, that you know something about life, that you are not empty. He reacts not to your image, but to your essence, to that very vibration that either rings true or is desperately false. It's not the mind that works here, choosing from a list of qualities, but the soul that recognizes its own. The most important meetings happen not when you are actively searching, but when you first begin to truly live in harmony with yourself, without pretending or trying to please someone. And if you think this is already deep, then get ready. We are only just beginning to scrape off the top layer of paint, under which the true mechanism of your choice is hidden. The animus archetype. When a man enters a woman's life and everything inside begins to vibrate, it's not just chemistry. It is the activation of a powerful inner image that Carl Jung called the animus, your inner man, your invisible projection of the masculine principle. This image has lived in you since birth, formed under the influence of your father, brothers, first loves, and cultural codes. He can be your inner ally, wise, strong, and protective. Then you feel a sense of support within yourself. You know how to say no and set boundaries, and partners who respect your strength come into your life. A mature animus gives a woman logical integrity, focus, and the ability to act in the world from a position of her strength, not from eternal pain and need. She is not looking for a savior because her inner man already provides her with security and support. But if your animus is distorted by trauma, if it has turned into an inner critic, judge, and accuser, then this can lead to difficulties. You will unconsciously be drawn not to those who will heal, but to those who will confirm your inner belief. I am not worthy of love. This is exactly how partners with difficult characters come into your life, and relationships with them bring pain and disappointment. They merely take on the flesh and blood of your distorted inner image. He seems to show you, look, this is the horror you have united with inside yourself. This is a tragedy, but at the same time, the greatest chance for healing. Such a man will demand submission, not accept your soul, because your own inner image of the masculine demands the same from you. Pain feels familiar, and emotional roller coasters and unavailability seem exciting, because the psyche is drawn to a familiar, albeit destructive scenario. This is not about love, it's about addiction to an old trauma that has found a living embodiment. It is this distorted animus that whispers in your ear that love must be earned, that you need to be convenient, that your true desires are selfish. He dictates your choices, forcing you to step on the same rake over and over again, changing only the faces of the men, but leaving the script of suffering unchanged. To understand and accept your animus, to see its dark, distorted sides, this is the first and most important step to stop projecting it onto real men and to start building relationships from a place of wholeness, not from deficit. So, you've met your inner man, the animus. But that was just theory, a kind of instruction manual for a complex mechanism. And now, prepare for the astonishing truth about how this mechanism works in real life. After all, knowing the diagnosis is one thing, but understanding how the treatment works is quite another. The psyche is not a mechanism that will send you a polite email notification saying, "Dear, your animus is distorted. Please pay attention." Oh no, it has its own methods. It doesn't write letters. It sends you a man. And that is precisely why the most difficult partner in your life was your most accurate diagnostician. We are approaching the moment where theory turns into practice, a reflection of your soul. If you've reached this point, it means you are not a casual visitor in the world of self-discovery, but a serious explorer. So let's make it official. Your subscription and like are a kind of entry pass to our club for those who are not afraid of the truth. And the truth is that the man who causes you the most acute pain is not a mistake and not a punishment. He is your most accurate and merciless mirror. He may be harsh, cold, distant, or, on the contrary, too intrusive. But he appears not for your comfort, but for a confrontation between you and that part of yourself that you have so carefully hidden, ignored, or despised. He is the trigger, but he is also the teacher. His task is not to save you, but to reveal a hidden problem, not to lull you, but to awaken you. Inside every woman lives a whole pantheon of roles: kind, proper, convenient, seductive, strong, vulnerable. But there is one she hides most often, the real one. And it is for the sake of meeting her that the one man comes, not to save or fill a void, but to expose, to peel away the layers, to remove the masks, and to dispel illusions. He doesn't always do this intentionally. Sometimes it's just by his presence, his reaction, his silence, or his departure. He touches upon the very thing within her that must either come to life or die. He may thrill her, but more often he confuses her, making her ask the same questions over and over. Why him? Why did I choose someone like this again? What am I doing wrong? But these are not questions about him. They are questions about her. Because a man who enters deeply into her life usually points not to another, but to the place in herself that desperately needs attention. That's why you can't just brush off this pain with the words, "It's all him, he's bad," because he is just a reflection of your own depth, your shadow or your light, your dependence or your path to freedom. Carl Jung was categorical on this matter. He wrote, "You will not meet another until you meet yourself. The other is you in the mirror, and the mirror does not lie." Every time you ask yourself the question, "What do I see in him that I so desperately hide in myself?" Зрение. Вы идете шаг не к нему, а глубже в себя. And this is no longer about the psychology of relationships. This is about inner maturation. Think this is harsh? Just wait. Now we're going to talk about why you choose the same cracked mirror time and time again, unfinished. Past a familiar song, I keep meeting the same kind of men. This is a real hit on the charts of women's anxieties. But it's time to change the record. The problem is not with the men, and not that there aren't enough good ones to go round. The problem is in your unlived history, in the script that you play over and over like a worn-out tape. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate, said Carl Jung. And he was absolutely right. As long as the energy of past resentments, fear of loneliness, guilt, or longing lives within you, you will be a magnet for precisely those who will respond to this frequency. Men sense this on an unconscious level. One will approach, see this unhealed wound, and instinctively retreat, because a healthy personality does not need contact with someone else's pain. Another, on the contrary, will sense your vulnerability and begin to use it, because his own trauma perfectly interlocks with yours, creating a painful but so familiar symbiosis. But no one will truly stay as long as the past resonates within you. The law of attraction is not about "I want." It's about "I am ready." Ready to close old chapters, to acknowledge your pain instead of hiding it under new makeup, and to let go of those who did not love you, not because they are bad, but because you no longer want to be someone who can be unloved. Only when a woman has let go of the past does she begin to live on a different frequency, not on the frequency of expectation, not on the frequency of pain, not on the frequency of need. She lives on the frequency of maturity and silence, and it is on this frequency that the one who knows how to be near without a struggle becomes audible. The one who doesn't pull you back, but leads you forward, who doesn't break you, but helps you unfold. And then the woman suddenly realizes with surprise, he is not like the others. He is a response to the new me. The power of being real. We have analyzed mirrors and scripts, but there is one element without which all of this is just theory. The main secret that makes a man not just come, but stay, awaits you ahead. This is what we have gathered here for. If you have watched up to this moment and are ready for the most important part, just let us know by putting a plus sign in the comments. It will take a second, and we will know that you are with us and ready for the initiation. So, a man can come, feel your depth, be drawn to it as to a living spring. But if you, frightened by this authentic encounter, start playing the good girl again, hiding in people-pleasing, putting on the mask of someone convenient and compliant, he will leave, even if he loves you, even if he himself doesn't understand why, because his soul feels the main thing. You have betrayed yourself for his sake. And this does not inspire admiration. It causes subconscious anxiety. The one he came for is no longer there. She has been replaced by a trying, controlling, convenient counterfeit. And the attraction disappears not because you became bad, but because you disappeared. Carl Jung taught, everything that is not brought to life returns as fate. And a woman, by rejecting her essence for the sake of a man, returns to her old fate, where she is not the center, but an accessory, where she again waits, fears, hopes, and loses herself for someone, as she has done many times before. But the man who came for her true depth cannot stay with her mask. He did not come for the facade. He came for the one who has the strength to be herself, for the one who is not afraid of being misunderstood, not afraid to be silent, and not afraid to speak the truth, for the one who does not seduce, but simply lives, without explanations and without schemes. A woman who does not betray herself is a magnet, not because she is perfect, but because she is real. She has pain, but she does not hide it. She has fear, but she does not surrender to it. She has love, but she does not humiliate herself to be loved. Such an energy from a woman creates a space where a man stays not because he is being held, but because it feels good to be near someone who remains herself, no matter what. And then the meeting becomes real, not just romantic or passionate, but deep, because the one who stays is not the one who loves more strongly, but the one who is able to withstand her truth. And her truth is her entire world, both light and shadow, both strength and vulnerability. And only a mature man, who has already met himself, is able to withstand this fullness without trying to fix, trim, or fit it to his expectations. He does not demand that she change because he came for the person she is. When a woman connects with herself, she stops searching. She begins to attract without effort, without fear, without haste. And then the one appears who does not take away her strength, but multiplies it, who is not frightened by her, but admires her. And in this meeting, there is no longer any coincidence. There is only time, readiness, and she, the one who no longer hides.